Shalom Yisrael, give praise to Yahweh Shemel Shai. That want us to the elders of GMS and all the prophets and highways and byways. My name is Akar, and today we're going to do a lesson on the Roman Centurion in Matthew 8. And who was he? If he was a heathen, or if he was a so-called, or if he was a Jew, an Israelite foreigner. Because you know, all your churches, there's a lot of stumbling out there. A lot of stumbling blocks out there, like Cornelius, the Gentiles, Romans 11. Y'all look at all these men, and y'all think they're really heathens. That salvation, y'all use it as an excuse that the heathens could be saved. But we're gonna look in the scriptures that that's really not true, and we're gonna make it clear for y'all brothers and sisters when y'all read scriptures like that. Y'all new ones. Y'all think if the heathen, y'all ask yourself, can the heathen really be saved? You ask yourself this, but we're going to make it clear and prove that that's not true. Make it clear for y'all, and to see if he was a heathen or if he was a Jew. Okay, so we're going to go to Matthew chapter 8, verse 5 to 6. Matthew chapter 8. Matthew chapter 8, verse 5. And when Yahushua was entered to Capernaum, there came unto him a centurion, beseeching him, and saying, Yahweh, my servant, lieth at home, sick of the palsy, grievously tormented. And Yahushua said unto him, I will come and heal him. The centurion answered and said, I am not worthy thou shouldest come under my roof, and speak the word only, and my servant should be healed. For I am a man under authority, having soldiers under me. And I say to this man, Go, and he goeth, and to another, Come, and he cometh. And so my servant doeth this, and he doeth it. When Yahushua heard, he marveled and said to him that followed, Verily I say unto you, I have not found so great faith, no, not in Israel. What I mean by Israel is the Jews, them Pharisees, them scribes that live in Jerusalem, because they was keeping the laws, but they didn't have faith. They didn't believe in the Savior. Because you could keep the laws, but do you have faith? This centurion, he happened to have strong faith. Let me ask you this question: does a white man have faith? Does the Chinese have faith? Does the Africans have faith? These heathens, they don't believe in the Most High. Most of them. Majority, 9 times out of 10, if you ask a white man or the heathens, these other nations, you ask them if they believe in God, a lot of them might say no. They believe in fantasy, they believe in monkeys, they believe in evolution, they believe in all other paganism. A lot of them believe that they come out of come out of monkeys, but they don't believe in the Most High. So do they really have faith? So was this Roman Centurion really a so-called white man? We'll see and find out. Let's go to Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4. This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4. It says, Behold, the soul which lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. So for you to have faith, you got to be just. So we're going to look at that word just. Just comes from the Hebrew 6662, Sadiq, which means lawful, righteous. So for you to have faith, you got to be just and devout. And just means lawful. The laws are in Israel. The laws are in Israel naturally and spiritually. The laws are in them. The law is not in the so-called white man or in the heathen. The white man and the heathens don't keep the laws. The Chinese don't keep the law. The African man don't keep the law. The East Indian don't keep the law. The law is for us. We know the law. Even though we go to church, but we still know about the 10 Commandments. Alright? Because it's in our spirit. The white man don't keep the law. Okay? So we're going to go to Psalms 147, 19 to 20. And number 1, it's not even for them. Psalms 147, 19 to 20. Psalms 147, 19 to 20. It says, He showed His word to Jacob, His statutes and His judgments to Israel. He had not dealt so with any nation, and as for His judgments, they have not known them. So He don't deal with any nations. The law ain't for these other nations. Okay? So let's go to Romans 1 verse 7. Romans 1 verse 7. Romans 1 verse 7. Romans chapter 1 verse 7. Romans chapter 1 verse 7. So all that be in Rome, beloved of Yahweh, called to be saints. Called to be what? Saints. Okay? So we're going to look up who these saints are. Let's go to Romans chapter 15 verse 25. That's what Paul said. But now going to Jerusalem to minister unto the saints. So Paul said he's going to minister into the saints. They say read Paul, read the New Testament, read the apostles. We're reading the apostles, we're reading the New Testament. And Paul said he goes to Jerusalem, which is Israel, to minister into the saints. So now, you know what that matches up with? That coincides with David, the book of Psalms. Here's what David said. This is Psalms 148 verse 14. He had also exalted the horn of his people. If you go back to Luke 169, it mentions the same thing about horn. It mentions the same thing about horn. Luke 1:68 to 69. Blessed be Yahweh of Israel, for he had visited and redeemed his people, and he had raised up an horn of salvation for us in the house of servant David. So he had raised a horn for Israel, of the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel. So only Israel can be saints. Okay? So, and only Israel could be a saint by flesh first, and then spiritual. Because like what I did in a previous lesson, that you gotta be an Israelite first in the flesh, and then in the spirit. We're gonna prove that. This is 1 Corinthians 15:44 to 46. 1 Corinthians 15:44 to 46. That is sown a natural body, it is raised a spiritual body. There's a natural body and there's a spiritual body. And so it is written, the first man Adam was made a living soul. The last Adam was made a quickening spirit. The first Adam was a fleshly Adam that listened to Eve. And the second is Yahushua. Howbeit that which was not first which is spiritual, but that which is natural. And natural which is spiritual. So you gotta be a saint, an Israelite saint, in the flesh first, and then in the spirit. Okay? So we're gonna also prove today that there was Israelites that joined the Centurion army. Let's go to Sirach. Let's go to Sirach. Slakia. Maccabees. To prove that Israelites joined heathen armies. This is Sirach 1 verse. First Maccabees 1:11. Let's slip of the tongue, Yeshua. First Maccabees 1:11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men, and persuaded many, saying, let us go make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So this advice pleased them well. The certain of the people were so forward that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathen. So a lot of the Israelites joined the heathens militarily, in law, in order. So they joined the heathens. So that proved. So the point I'm trying to make, that Israelites joined in heathen armies. Okay, there were Israelites in Rome, in Greeks. We could be all day proving that. Gentiles scattered abroad in James 1:1. Okay, so now we're gonna read this document that we found from this brother from tribe of Judah. This is Romans, the Roman army. It says only men could be in the Roman army, no woman. Every soldier was a Roman citizen. He had to be at least 20 years old. He was not supposed to be He was not supposed to get married while he was a soldier. Most soldiers in the Roman Empire came from countries outside Italy. There were Romans outside from Africa, France, Germany, and Balkans, Spain, and the Middle East. So a lot of Roman soldiers weren't even Romans. They were outside Rome, in the Middle East. So we're gonna prove what the Middle East is. This is go to Baruch. Baruch chapter 3. Baruch chapter 4 verse 36. Baruch 4 verse 36. O Jerusalem, look about thee toward the east, and behold the joy that cometh to thee from Yahweh. So look into the east. So Jerusalem is in the east, the Middle East. So a lot of them came from Jerusalem. And who dwells in Jerusalem? Jews. Let's prove that. Who dwells in Jerusalem? Jews. Jews. And they are dwelling in Jerusalem, Jews. Devout men out of every nation under heaven. If you go to the Zondervan's Bible Dictionary, Jew means Judah. So, what does Judah mean? What does Judah mean? What color was Judah? We're going to prove it. Jeremiah 14:2. Judah mourning in the gates of languish. They are blackened to the ground, and the cry of Jerusalem gone up. So Judah is black. So this centurion either had to be a Negro, a Haitian, or West Indian, a Benjamite, or a Judah, or a Levite. He was not a heathen. So that's pretty much what I wanted to point out to you, brothers and your sisters, to enlighten your eyes. Shalom.